Okay, now you've heard the story of too many cooks in the kitchen, haven't you? Well, this is one cook with too many things going on, because behind me I've got the pizza chips that I just almost forgot to take out of the oven, but just remembered just in time. And these are the Trifle sponges. I used a 16 by, I think it's 11 pan. I've cut them previous to this, and I'm actually, and then you just divide them into sort of like thirds going across, and then, and I'm going to say that's about 4 by 5 ish, thereabouts. And then I'm just going to lay them in this pan here. Now you might say they look a bit thin, and actually these you can make this mixture, and I'll explain it in the cookbook when we get to the cookbook. You can make this mixture in a smaller pan, and you can cook for a little bit longer, and you get a thicker sponge which you then split. But what I like to do is I like to make them thinner like this. So if you follow the recipe in the book, you'll make them thinner like this, and then what I do then is I simply cut one in half like so, and I fill it like so with the preserve of my choice. So now it's a nice thick with a juicy thing in the middle. And these you lay in the bottom of your trifle. They're going to be soaked in sherry. So if you think they're actually very nice and soft at the moment, and my sister and I, the reason it might look a bit short in that pan is because my sister and I ate a couple just on their own with nothing in them at all. But this, I'm going to just lay them in here, and I'm going to freeze them, and they freeze really, really, really well. And so I'm going to freeze them, and then just lay a piece of paper towel over that, and just lay these down again. And you know, so if you want them thicker, you just simply make them in a smaller pan, always with the lip. These sponges look a bit thin, I know they do, but when they're doubled with the preserve in the middle, they'll be fabulous. They'll be really, really great, and they'll be exactly what we're looking for in a trifle sponge. Let's do that on the top there. And I like to do a few of these at a time. So if I double up on the recipe, for instance, this sponge is made as most good sponges are, I think. It's got no fat in it whatsoever. We whisk the egg whites really, really well. That's it. We whisk the egg whites really, really well, and we whisk the eggs and the sugar together, and then we sort of fold in the flour, and we do it gently, etc. All of the air in the sponge comes with whisking the egg whites. I put sugar on the top. In fact, maybe I don't know if you'll see it. Oh look, there's a bit there just left out. How nice is that? I put some sugar, icing, powdered sugar, which I dust all over the top. I don't know if you can see that, Carolyn, but it looks a bit shiny there. Yes. And if I tap it, can you hear? Mm-hmm. It's a little crispy on the top, which is what a good sponge, trifle sponge, should be. In the freezer, ready for, I think I'm going to make a trifle and a tiramisu. Tiramisu, you can make this into fingers, or you can make it in a big pan and cut it into squares. You can do whatever you like with it, but this is a basic, very simple, very easy sponge recipe, and it only takes probably less than half an hour to make it once you know what you're doing. And so that's great. Rosemary's Kitchen. We're coming back in a minute to make some marzipan.